Let me ask you something. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Be honest. Most of us grab our phone before our eyes are even fully open. We're already scrolling through notifications, checking messages, reading bad news, comparing ourselves to strangers on the internet. And all of this happens before we've even had a sip of water. And then we wonder why our days feel so chaotic. Here's the truth nobody talks about enough. The first few minutes of your morning don't just set your mood, they set the direction of your entire day. And if you're starting that day without God, you're basically trying to drive across a city you've never been to, without GPS in the dark. Today I want to share something that changed my mornings completely. A simple but powerful morning prayer. Not one of those formal, stiff thee and thou prayers that sound like they were written in the 1400s. I'm talking about a real, honest, heartfelt conversation with God that you can start doing tomorrow morning. And I promise you, if you stick with me till the end of this video, you're going to walk away with something genuinely practical, something you can actually use. Let's get into it. First, let me tell you why most people's prayer life isn't working. And I say this with love. A lot of us were taught to pray in a very transactional way, like God is a vending machine. You put in your coin, which is the prayer. You press the button and you wait for your blessing to drop. And when it doesn't drop immediately, we shake the machine, get frustrated, and walk away saying, prayer doesn't work. But prayer was never meant to be a vending machine. It was meant to be a relationship. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a really good friend, a wise, caring, powerful friend who genuinely wants to help you. But the only time you ever call them is when your car breaks down, or when your boss is being difficult, or when you need money. Every single conversation starts with, hey, I need something. How long before that friend starts screening your calls? Now, I'm not saying God screens your calls. He doesn't. He's endlessly patient, which honestly is more grace than most of us deserve. But I am saying that a prayer life built entirely on requests is missing the whole point. A morning prayer is about connection before it's about petition. So here's the structure I want to walk you through. I call it the ACTS framework. And no, I did not invent this. It's been around for a while. But I want to give it to you in a way that actually makes sense for real life in the 21st century. A. Adoration. C. Confession. T. Thanksgiving. S. Supplication. Sounds fancy. It really isn't. Let me break it down. A is for adoration. This is where you start, not with your problems, not with your to-do list, with God Himself. You start by acknowledging who He is. Now, I know some people feel a little awkward about this part. Like, does God really need me to compliment Him every morning? Is He just sitting up there waiting for praise like a celebrity who needs validation? No. Adoration isn't for God's ego, it's for your perspective. When you start your morning by focusing on how big, how faithful, how loving, how sovereign God is, something shifts in your mind. Suddenly your problems don't look as enormous as they did 5 seconds ago. Your anxiety doesn't feel as suffocating because you've just reminded yourself, and this is key, that the God who holds the entire universe together is the same God who is walking into this day with you. So, your adoration might sound something like this. Lord, you are good. You have always been good. Before this day even started, you already knew every moment of it, and you are already in it. You are bigger than anything I will face today. You are faithful even when I am not. and I just want to say I love you, not because of what you've given me, but because of who you are. Simple, real, true. That's it. You don't need to sound like a choir director. Just mean what you say. Taffets is for confession. All right, this is the part most people skip, and honestly, it's the part that makes the biggest difference. Confession is just honesty. It's coming before God and saying, here's where I've fallen short. Here's where my heart hasn't been right. Here's what I've done or left undone. Now look, this isn't about beating yourself up. This isn't a guilt spiral where you spend 20 minutes cataloging every sin since 1997. That's not confession. That's just self-torture. Confession is about clearing the air. Think about it like this. You know that weird tension that happens when you and a friend had a small argument and neither of you addressed it? You're both pretending everything is fine, but there's this invisible awkwardness hanging between you, and then one of you finally says, "Hey, I think I was wrong about that." Suddenly the whole room breathes again. Confession does that with God. It clears the air. It restores intimacy. And here's the good news. Actually, it's the best news. God is not shocked by your confession. He already knows. He knew before you said it. He's not sitting up there with a clipboard going, "Oh, interesting. So you did lose your temper yesterday. I had no idea." He knows. He just wants you to be honest with him. Because honesty is the foundation of closeness. So your confession might sound like, "Lord, I haven't been fully trusting you lately. I've been anxious and controlling, and honestly a little short-tempered with the people I love. I'm sorry. I don't want to live from that place today. Please forgive me and help me start fresh." Done. No drama, just honesty. And then receive the forgiveness. Don't confess and then spend the rest of the day carrying guilt like a backpack full of rocks. Scripture says he is faithful and just to forgive. That means it's done. Accept it and move on. T is for Thanksgiving. This one feels nice, but most people do it wrong. Most people's Thanksgiving prayer sounds like, "Thank you for my family, my health, my food, my home," which is all genuinely good stuff. But if you're not careful, it becomes a mindless checklist, like reciting your grocery list. Real Thanksgiving requires specificity. Instead of "thank you for my family," try "thank you for the way my daughter laughed yesterday when she thought something was funny. Thank you for the text my friend sent me last week when I really needed it. Thank you that I had electricity this morning, because I know millions of people didn't." When you get specific, something happens. Gratitude stops being an obligation and starts being an experience. You actually feel it rather than just saying it. And when you genuinely feel grateful, your whole nervous system shifts. Science even backs this up. Gratitude literally changes your brain chemistry, reduces cortisol, increases dopamine, all of that. But forget the science for a second. Think about how God must feel when his child actually notices the good things he's placed in their life. Not just the big dramatic miracles, but the quiet everyday kindnesses that we usually walk right past. Start noticing and say it out loud. "Lord, thank you for the coffee that tasted perfect this morning. Thank you that I woke up and my body was working. Thank you for that moment last week when I thought everything was falling apart and you came through in a way I didn't expect." Give him the details. He loves it. Sis or supplication. Now you bring your requests. Not because God isn't interested in them before this point, He is, but because when you've spent time in adoration, confession, and thanksgiving first, your requests actually look different. Your heart is in a different place. You're not demanding, you're trusting. You're not desperate, you're leaning. There's a difference between God, I need this and I need it now, and honestly, I'm panicking, versus Lord, here is what's on my heart today. I trust that you know what's best and I'm bringing this to you. Same request, completely different posture. So bring your real needs, the relationship that's struggling, the job interview coming up, the diagnosis that scared you, the decision you've been going back and forth on for weeks, the person you're worried about, the dream you've been afraid to even say out loud. Bring it all. Lord, today I'm carrying this. I don't know what to do about it. I'm asking you to step in, to guide me, to give me wisdom, and I'm trusting you even with the parts I don't understand yet. And then, and this is the part we all need to work on, let it go. Actually let it go. Don't pick it back up 2 minutes later and start worrying again. Prayer without surrender is just stress with religious language. The whole point of bringing something to God is to leave it with Him, at least for the next few hours, at least for this morning. Now here's something I want to address, because I know some of you are thinking it. I don't have time for all of this in the morning. I've got kids to get ready. I've got a commute. I'm not a monk. Totally valid. Real life is messy and rushed. I get it. Here's what I want you to know. This entire prayer, everything I just walked you through, can be done in 5 minutes. Genuinely. 5 focused, intentional minutes is enough to completely change the tone of your day. You don't need a prayer room. You don't need a special app. You don't need candles and worship music playing in the background. Though honestly, that is lovely if you can swing it. You just need to wake up 5 minutes earlier. 5 minutes before the chaos starts. Before the kids are up. Before you check your phone. Before the world has a chance to throw its first curveball. 5 minutes. Sitting with God before you sit with anything else. That's the whole secret. I want to leave you with this thought. There's a verse in Psalms that says, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Notice the tense. This day. Not the day you're worried about 6 months from now. Not the day that already went wrong last week. This one. The one right in front of you. Right now. A morning prayer is you saying to God, I receive this day from your hands. I don't know what's in it, but I know you are in it. So let's go. That kind of morning changes everything. Not because your circumstances will suddenly be perfect, they won't. This is life, but because you're not walking into them alone anymore. You're walking in with the God of the universe, who loves you, who is for you, who has never once forgotten about you. That's a pretty good way to start a day. Try it tomorrow morning. Just 5 minutes, adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication, real words, honest heart, and then watch what happens. If this video blessed you in any way, share it with someone who needs a better morning. Subscribe if you want more content like this. We talk about real faith for real life. No fluff, no performance, just truth. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.